All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who we learned this truth from. Want to say peace, mercy, and blessings unto all of the hopeful elect. The true name of Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists, or He is to be. The true name of the Son is Yahushai, which means He is the deliverer, right? And we are the Hebrew Israelites. And there's 12 tribes, all right? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Latin Hispanics, we're those people that make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, all right? The self-proclaimed white man, he's not white, he's red. According to the Bible, the biblical nationality is Esau, Edom. According to Bible prophecy, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, all right? The times that we're living in, we're living in the downfall of Esau's kingdom. All right, and with this man's kingdom's falling, our kingdom is rising. You know?
Got videos, like videos for me to go live. So I gotta go.
Check to see the feed is good.
So we got this.
All right, Con, we good. Hey, call lawyer Ma, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. So yesterday you had on July 4th, you know, which they were saying that they could have been a T attack. You know, it don't seem like nothing happened, but you know, things are happening. You know, but yesterday, Mr. Trump, he signed that big beautiful bill. So now that's came into law. You know, but with that bill, you know, that's going to bring a lot of pain and suffering. You know, which people are already experiencing miseries such as job loss, you know, extremely high Medicare, things of that nature. Okay, but things are going to get much worse. All right. This is Isaiah 19 and verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord, all right, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and that means He exists, or He's to be the name of the Son, is Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer. So when you see the Lord in all caps, the correct name there is Yahweh, all right, which means He exists. All right, and we don't call upon Jesus. You don't hear us saying Christ, because those are not the correct names. There ain't no power in those names. The real power lies within the Hebrew tongue. Okay, there's more force in the Hebrew. Okay, just to back that point up, let's get the prologue of Sirach, you know? This is the prologue of Sirach. It says, wherefore, let me entreat you to pardon us, where we may seem to have come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. So the ancient Hebrew, what we speak in, right? We are Hebrew Israelites. So what do we always revert back to? The Paleo Hebrew, the ancient tongue. All right, the holy tongue. You know, so we don't subscribe to the name Jesus Christ. We don't believe that the Lord. Let me get that sign, because this is a demon too. The Caesar sign. We don't believe that the Lord is a so-called white man. Okay, this demon is starting to come back around. There's all type of so-called Israelites, all right, and you niggas are saying, oh, the Lord wasn't a black man, he was Middle Eastern.
I see that.
You know, that's the damn direction. You know, the Lord it says that it's evident that our Lord came from the tribe of Judah, so he's an actual man. When you read the book of Matthew, it tells you his lineage, and guess what? He had an actual color because he came in the flesh. All right, Thomas seen him. He told Thomas, touch the scars in my hand. Because Thomas, he said, I'm not going to believe until I see it. So the Lord actually showed him. Okay, you have a lot of our people like that. They're not going to believe until they see shit in the fan, which is cool. You know, you do have 12th hour Israelites, as we like to say, brothers that's going to come in at the last minute. But the most of you people, the Most High ain't going to have mercy on you like that, man. All right, because you've been heard the word and you've been bullshitting, you've been rejecting. You know, you got a lot of people that's still behind the comment board. You just watch the videos, but you don't come out. You know, you gotta get out here, man. You know, you gotta get out and put that work in.
That goes back to Wisdom of Solomon 5. He said that.
Get that, please. That's the spirit. You know, because the real that's going into our Wisdom of Solomon 5 is going into our Independence Day, right? Yesterday you had so-called Independence Day, but you niggas are not free. You still subject on the payments. You have one weekly day off. You gotta go right. Some of you gotta go right back to work tomorrow or Monday. Okay, bust your ass all week just to barely get by. That's America. All right, go ahead. Start at 1.
Well, the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
Now, who are the righteous men? Those righteous men is talking about the remnant of the nation of Israel. That's what it's talking about. Okay? And this links up perfectly with Revelation 11. It says, then they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them. Now, these average people, when they see us out here, because what we're doing, we're spiritually blowing the trumpet, right? We may not have a physical trumpet playing a tune, but we are lifting up our voices as a trumpet. So when they see that, they should fear. If you understood what this actually meant, people will be afraid. But guess what the elites do? You know, so they're standing in fear, like, oh shit, these men have woken up, they're calling upon their power, they're not participating in America. Last night was Friday the 4th. We wasn't out here in the festivities of this world. You know why? Because judgment, we're in the time of judgment, man. All right, you could go out here and you cannot come home. Shit's real out here. You know, you get stopped. Your ass might end up on alligator Alcatraz. You know what she said? She said, alligator lives matter. You know, and all Israelites, pretty much all Jakes look the same. You can't really tell the tribes apart. You know, so you think they're gonna try to sit down? No, they're gonna start taking people. All right, they're gonna start taking niggas too, not just Hispanics or Latinos, right?
I heard they tried to go down to little Haiti. Yeah,
in Brooklyn. I believe that's in Brooklyn.
Nah, I think that's in Miami or California.
No, that was in New York.
Oh, New York. Oh, okay. Oh, Flatbush.
They was up there at Flatbush. They went out there to the neighborhood of Haitians. They tried to take them, but you know that's Levi. Levi got the spirit to fight back. Levi always had that spirit.
Yeah.
Going back to the Maccabees, they always got that spirit to fight Esau back.
Yep.
You know.
They come down soft, man. So they see Northern kind of laid back. Come down soft with us, man.
But you know what?
Some pushback.
You know what? From the Northerners, they needed to see that.
Yeah.
So now that video is viral and they're seeing that, they're gonna start fighting. That's what it says. I was raised up. You know, when I bent Judah for me, I'm filled the bow with Ephraim.
Yep.
You know.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
Then what? When the spirit of life entered into him. All right? Because that's the only way you can stand in great boldness. Because now we know who we are. We have that connection with our power again. We're praying, we're fasting, you know, we're repenting. Repenting is important, man. You got to repent for the sins you did, you know, this life and your past reincarnations. You know, because we don't really know what we've done. You know, but we know we need to be forgiven, man. We want to be forgiven.
That's why the Lord said in 1 Kings, I think it's 8, chapter 8, verse 46, he said that you should render him to the east and say, I have sinned, I did perversely. That goes back to what you did in your past life. You know what I'm saying? You need think I serve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it makes sense because we are our forefathers. Because there's something called reincarnation. And what did our forefathers do? They were sacrificing unto devils. They were worshiping idols. All right?
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the faces of such as have afflicted him.
So we're right out here in the streets. You know, we're not hiding. We're right in the streets, cheap place of concourse. All right, where you can see us. You know, people walk past. They look at the signs. They stop. They ask questions. The video is going up live. There's really no excuse. And also, what the Lord told Ezekiel: prophesy unto the wind. You know, so it don't matter if nobody stops and listens. You know, we're out here really to show our faith. You know, because the remnant is the remnant. The elect is the elect. You know, the Most High, really, he already got them sealed. It's just a set time where they're going to hear the word and be sealed. Because it's predestinated, you know.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him.
How did he afflict us? When you go back to when 1492,
1619, I think.
1619, it started with the Northern Kingdom. It's like ISIS starting with the Northern Kingdom.
100 years later, it came us.
Then they came to the Southern Kingdom, the triangular slave trade, or also called the Atlantic slave trade. All right, where they took, you know, hundreds of thousands of our people from the west coast of Africa and brought them here, which 94% of the slaves that came to this side, they went into South America. Only 6% are up here in North America, man. Okay, so the majority of our people, they're mixed up with the Latin tribes, the Spanish-speaking tribes, you know.
And such as have afflicted him and made no count of our labors.
Right, they make no account of our labors. Because when you go to Jeremiah, it tells you that Jacob is the form of all things. Okay, meaning what? Our people have made various, contributions, to the society, inventions, you name it. Okay, and any contributions that our people have made to the society, we don't get credited for it. We still get treated like shit, called lazy, called niggers. You know, this land was literally built up off the blood, sweat, and tears of our people, and pain and suffering. You know, and that free labor catapulted America to be the top superpower on earth to this day.
When they see it, they shall be troubled and terrible fear.
Right, when they see what? And we go back to this right here. This is Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt, right? This is the modern day Egypt is America. You have to understand something. There's parallels between ancient Egypt and ancient Rome, all right, and ancient Greece, all right, and all these different kingdoms, all right. America mimics them, mainly Rome. It's modeled after the image of the beast, but it's also ancient Egypt because it was the land of our captivity, where our people served hardcore slavery, right? It says the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai riding upon a swift cloud. What is the cloud? A chariot, right? What the world would call a UFO, a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, or they might call them drones. Okay, you know, Esau the double. There's been a heavy increase in UFO sightings, chariot sightings. Okay, these things are going to go up because the Most High is visiting the world which He made. All right, and with the Most High paying a visit, He's going to send those chariots to check this place out. Right? It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at His presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Right, all the counsels is going to fail. All right, all the law, whatever you try to do, it's not going to work. Okay, the Most High is giving you a set bounds that you cannot pass, so you're only going to go so far with your new world order, right? So when they see the second coming, you know, a lot of people are going to have heart attacks. They're not going to understand what's going on. They're going to have, you know, strokes. They're going to bug out, you know, because you also have something called Project Bluebeam, right? Which is double. You want to use, you know, different technology to deceive the people to make them think that's the second coming. All right, that's how deep the devil is, man. It says his heart is deep. He does diligent search, you know. So he know the Lord is coming back, so he's gonna go so far as to fake the second coming. You know?
Yeah, this laying back what you just said about the cherry site. I just got this morning. It said astronauts capture a picture of a gigantic jet in the manosphere.
Yep. And that's how the Lord left. When you read the book of Acts, it tells you that, you know, he left on the cloud, but the angels, they were comforting the prophets. What did they tell them? They told them the same way the Lord left is the same way he's going to come back. I mean, he's going to come back on those chariots. He's going to come into America. Okay? Back to that.
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Yeah, when they actually see the Lord coming, because when the Lord comes, it's going to be something that the whole world is going to see and feel. Remember, we are now in an age where you can just pull out a phone. We're in an age of where knowledge has increased. Technology, AI is taking over. All right, so there's the saying, the revolution won't be televised, but it will. All right, because when this place gets destroyed, the other nations are going to lament. They're going to see the smoke of a burning. How? Through the internet, through the TV, internet.
Just like last week or week before last, remember in Texas, Jake in the hood seen the chariot and they seen the beam blue, like the beam coming down. They were like, well, it's a UFO for real, man. It's a UFO for real.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's Jake. They're like, shut up, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's Jake.
Yeah. A lot of our people, man, they might bug out. They might try to shoot it, whatever they might try to do, you know. Because they not gonna understand.
Yeah.
But guess what? Them chariots, they're here to do two things: to deliver the elect and destroy everything else.
Not knowing that's for our salvation right there. That's for them. But see, they got caught
It's strange.
Yeah.
So it's even strange to our own people.
And that, like I said, because it goes back to going by Esau propaganda of their movies. Classifying them aliens, big head green people. You know what I'm saying? So when they see that, they're going to think, what they watch on TV, they're going to think that's what's in them chariots, not knowing they're black men.
I got something. Let me go back. All right. This is Matthew 24. I'm going to start at 20. Matthew 24 and 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Why? Because the shit is going to get real. And you don't want to move it in the winter. It can be a burden, man, because it's very cold outside. You know, you might have a family, shit, even just by yourself. You know, you catch frostbite or some shit. Traveling in the winter is brutal. And the devil knows that, which is why which is why Sleepy Creepy said we're heading into a dark winter. And we kept saying that. You know, we thought it was going to happen during this advent, but the Lord could have it happen under Nero's advent. You know, it could be this one. They were saying that something was going to happen yesterday by a BioT attack. You know,
I knew we knew it wasn't going to happen because that's not how Esau works. You know what I'm saying? He'll throw something out, expect you to look for it, but it might happen somewhere later on in the month. You know what I'm saying? Catch you off guard. When COVID popped off in 2020, you didn't expect that one coming. Obama said it like in this term about something, a virus that's going to come. We must prepare. And that was like 8 years before that, when the COVID popped off. He let you know about the COVID way before it popped. You know what I'm saying? And then it happened some years later, way after his term. Just like about the Twin Towers coming down. I was hearing about the Twin Towers coming down in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I was hearing people saying that, talking about that coming back down back there.
This is Matthew 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And that's what's coming upon the world, great tribulation. Meaning what? Great death, mourning, lamentation, mourning, and woe. All right, just like it's written in Ezekiel, it said, within and without was lamentation, mourning, and woe. But that's what's in the scriptures, but that's what's coming to the world, right? So this time that's coming is going to be worse than when the Romans came and besieged Jerusalem. It's going to be worse when the Greeks came and they forced our people to be Greeks. Because a lot of people, that's a great mystery, man. A lot of people don't understand that the Greeks of the New Testament are Israelites that were forced into that lifestyle through war, through sword, by Antiochus Epiphanes and the Greeks. Okay? So it's going to be worse than that time. And in that time, these devils actually came in and put swine on the altar. Okay, it's going to be worse than what the Babylonians did. Because now think about it. There's all type of super soldiers. All right, the technology, the weaponry is advanced. Okay, we're in the future, man. This time is going to be far, far worse because Esau has nukes. Right? There's a quote by Einstein. I'm going to get. He said, I don't know how the third war is going to be fought, but the fourth war is going to be fought with sticks and stones. But guess what? We do know how the third war is going to be fought. It's going to be fought with nuclear weapons. Right?
I got a precept on something that I said earlier about Donald Trump had signed an executive order about the beautiful big bill. I got a precept on it. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. How do ye say we are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us? Lo, certainly, vain made the pen of the scribe is in vain. It's vain coming up with these vain, laws about, how to oppress our people. You know what I'm saying? He described mischief with a pen.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So by him writing down the pen, that's how Esau got that war spirit. He said Lord gave him that spirit of what? To take peace from earth. Even this pen is war. When he write down laws and legislations, that's war coming against the children of Israel to put us in oppression and captivity.
Well, there's a saying that the pen is mightier than the sword. So with this pen, the devil, he passes all type of laws, legislations, executive orders. Well, what is it doing? Taking your rights away, taking more and more of your rights away, bringing more and more misery on you. All right, putting the squeeze on you more and more.
He implement laws secretly that you don't know, that our people go out and vote for, and they don't know. You know how Esau, he's good with his, his wordplay. That's why he goes to Timothy about vain babbling. You know what I'm saying? He's good at babbling. And we agree to stuff not knowing what he's talking about. And then you wonder why throughout the years there's certain laws, we can't do this no more, this is happening because of this, or we can't get this funding. If we didn't know that you voted for it, you consent to it. You know what I'm saying?
And he'll make it sound good.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it says in Jeremiah, take balm, we would have held Babylon, but she's not healed, take balm. Okay, so people are looking at this big, beautiful bill. You have MAGA, some of them, they're looking at it like this is going to help, this is going to make America great again. All right, but you people going to see, this is going to bring pain, more pain and suffering upon you.
That's why it goes back to that who consent to them. He puts that in Ezra. He said, the second Ezra, he said, those that consent to him, he should have them in derision. Stand trampled over his feet. That goes into that too. Consent to his laws, he will have them in derision. Taking away your school programs and social benefits and all that.
SNAP, that's the big one. And the Bible says that many people that dwell upon the earth is going to perish with famine. So with him taking the SNAP, the EBT, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to go without food. All right, and because they have to go without food, because they have to feed their children and families, what they're going to result to doing? Stealing, robbing. That's why the second Exodus says a man should have no pity upon his neighbor. Back to Solomon.
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Next verse.
The book, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Right, when they see the Lord coming with the chariots, they're going to be troubled with terrible fear. Okay, in 2nd Ezra 13, it says they're going to be afraid, but there's fight. Keep going.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Well, that's the strangeness of our salvation. Because when you think about it, this land, the Most High has set it up to be destroyed by nuclear fire. Okay, so when the nukes come, all right, when the nukes rain down from the other nations, even Babylon's allies, it's going to turn this place into a lake of fire. You're not going to die and go to hell and then you're in a lake of, no. The lake of fire is the destruction of America, which John saw from a bird's eye view from the chariot, right? So the only way out is up. Even the martyrs, the brothers that have died in the faith, they're gonna be on those chariots first. They're gonna already be on the chariots, man. But if you're not taken up on the chariot, you're gonna be left here to get melted, you know. Keep going.
Amazed at the strangers of the salvation, so beyond as they look for. And then they
Because they never expected us to be delivered, especially through a supernatural event such as being taken up on a so-called UFO. That's very strange. And then it's going to be all Israelites, the people you call niggers, spicks. What people are going to say?
Verse 3, Wisdom of Solomon, 5th chapter. And they repented and groaning of anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision.
Right. These were the niggas that was at the bottom of society. They were just the losers. You know, they was always getting fired. They was always going through financial issues. It was always above them. They were the last. We shitting on them.
Yep.
You know, but the scripture does say the first shall be the last and the last shall be first. So this ain't our world. We understand that. We're cool with that because we understand that we have something better coming too. You know, is that it on that?
Nah, yes, sir. And a proverb of a reproach.
This is Ezekiel 22, verse 17. The word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai came unto me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They are even the dross of silver. Therefore thus said Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai power, because ye are all become dross. Behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. That's that nuclear destruction.
That means we lost our shine as a people. That's what that dross, you know what I'm saying? Became dim.
Hey,
You know?
Shalom. How about you know,
So the Lord said He's gonna refine us, you know what I'm saying? Gonna purge out that impure, metal, bring out that gold in the 130, hopeful elect, in the 2/3.
I'm sorry. Make your point and also get Zechariah 13:8.
Right? You know what I'm saying? He's gonna purge that out, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna separate the sheep from the goats, you know? And deliver his hopeful elect, burn those dross silver.
Yep.
Right.
So 2/3 of our people, man, the ones that make it up until the nukes are coming, they're gonna be left here to be melted. That's horrifying. You know, back in Ezekiel 22 and verse 21, yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. 22, Ezekiel 22 and verse 22. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the power, have poured out my fury upon you. So going to Revelation 14, it says the wine without mixture. You know, because these people that stay here that get hit with those nukes, those the ones that's going to take the haragma, man. You know.
I think you should talk about that.
Oh my bad. They gonna those people that's gonna get melted, the majority of them is because you took the haragma, or you're just not part of the elect. Which if you're not part of the elect, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna take the mark of the beast. You know.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be covered and die.
Which means all throughout America. It's already happening. We're in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, starting with ICE, which these ICE agents are nothing more than racist ass Edomites that are dressing up for the job. You know? So they're letting their racism out by going and getting you Mexicans, Venezuelans, you know, the Cubans and Haitians. They're coming after you, man. And guess what? There have been an increase in lynchings, actual hangings. They found a guy in Albany, all right? They found a truck driver. The dude was 300 pounds, and they said it was a suicide. How the fuck you 300 pounds, all right? You hang yourself, but you have no evidence. How you get up there?
Yeah.
You know? So that's Esau. That's that spirit of hatred in Esau, man. All right, and they're ever since Trump got in office, the so-called white supremacy, white national, that spirit has been going up. You know, you have something called "Make America Hate Again." All right, make America white all over. It's the spirit that they're in. You know?
And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
So whether the Most High put the spirit on Esau to hang you, all right, to fucking grab you up, throw you out of plane, all right, you fall, you know, into a fucking alligator Alcatraz. However it happens, man, they're gonna be cut off. But the main cut off is nuclear destruction.
But the third shall be left therein, and I will bring the third part through the fire.
So that's going to be literally, because that's, you know, the elect are going to be delivered from the nuclear destruction. All right, but it's also the fiery trials and tribulations. You know, because it says in Second Ezra, then shall they know who am I chosen? They shall be tried, which means what? Persecution, imprisonment, martyrdom. That's the trying, you know, but the elect are going to be faithful unto death, and that's how they're going to be receive that crown of life, you know.
And I will refine them as silver and refine, and will try them as gold, and try is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say the Lord is my Yahweh.
Right, they shall call upon my name. They're not going to call upon Jesus. They're not going to call upon Ahia, Yeshaya. All right, they're going to be calling upon Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. Right? That is true. There's no other way.
I got a precept too. The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it, and it is safe.
Bring that out again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it, and is safe.
Right. The name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is likened unto a strong tower. Right. So if you're in the ancient world, you know, if you take some land, what you're gonna do? You're gonna fortify your city with a strong tower. You're gonna put watchmen on those towers, so not anybody can just get in and invade your city. Okay, so guess what? You call upon the name of the Lord, that's like you taking refuge inside an impenetrable tower, man. All right, that Satan and the demons, they can't get you. Okay, it's so powerful, you can call upon the name in your sleep, man. You know, I remember I had dreams of calling upon the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua in my sleep and being delivered. That's how powerful the name is, man.
Yo, Shalaki, remember that dream? It dawned on me, I'm going to tell you, remember that dream we had about the bear trying to attack you? Now we know we're going to be, our Lord said he's going to make a covenant with the beast in the field when we out there. So you know what that bear could represent? The Russian soldiers.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So that's the super soldiers.
Yep.
This second Ezra 16.
Yep. I thought about it the other day. I said, you know what? That's what that dream was. Burning, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled of you.
So that's, you know, that's talking about the devil coming down with great wrath, right? So you can read that in Revelation 12 and 12. You know, it's pretty much the same precept. You know, or you can precept that with Revelation 12 and 12, right?
For 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols.
So they're gradualism. Right now you have RFK Jr. is talking about what? Wearables. He wants people to have medical wearables within the next 4 years. Okay? I'm gonna get some information on that.
Yo, and yeah, you know what too? You know, Donald Trump talking about the immigrants wearing ankle bracelets or something like that, tracking devices on them. You know, those that still left around.
Yep. That's a good point, because if you got the eyes to see, you can see how this is all going to play out. You know, they might say, well, we'll let you back in, but we got to track you, right? So put this wearable or take this implant, all right? But not knowing he's deceiving you to take the implant, and that's the mark of the beast, and that's going to get you destroyed. A huge part of how people are going to take the mark of the beast is through deception, man. You know, you take this wearable, we let you in America, we give you a job, we put $1 million on the implant.
Yo, because what's the name had brought that out some years ago. Brother from KC, he said that. He said, you know what they're gonna do? He said this like 2-3 years ago. He said they're gonna have these migrants run out, cause them up. Whoever come in president, they're gonna retain them. They're gonna say they're a threat, and make them wear the device so they can track them down. That's how they're gonna implement it.
And it allowed Persians, different people to come. It wasn't just like it was just Mexicans coming. You had people from Iran coming across the border. So the border is wide open. So now you got super sleepers up in here. Okay, so now he has to start tracking people. It's all part of auto chaos. Okay, you allow chaos to break out so you can come through with your form of order. Right? So it says RFK Jr.'s latest health proposal raises some very important questions, right? In a congressional hearing this past week, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. shared his views on improving the health of Americans. My vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years. So that's gradualism, man. And you just had Elon Musk. They just came out with a blind sight implant. Okay, you know what that means? That means if you're blind, right, you have loss of vision. Let's say you were blind from birth. They now have an implant that they can put inside your brain so that you can see again. That's part of the miracles. That right there is going to get a lot of people to take it because people are going to want to experience having sight. You see? What about people that can't walk? And they might be paralyzed from the waist down or the neck down. You take this chip, you can move again. People gonna jump on that, man. It says Elon Musk announces Neuralink's first human implant of blind sight. Elon Musk announces first human implant of blind sight coming this year. Musk says the implant will initially provide blind individuals with low resolution sight with the potential for superhuman vision in the future. That's part of his miracles, man. All right, to give you, that's a brain implant, Neuralink. All right, to give you these implants, okay, and he's gonna convince you to get it through the idea that you're being upgraded. They're not gonna tell you that it's gonna be used to track you. It's gonna be used for buying and selling. He's gonna deceive you. But that's what it's ultimately for, okay? Because we can see that cash is being done away with. All this is being done away with, man. There's going to be a new way of buying and selling, right? It's going to have to be through digitally, right? CBDCs, right? So, back there.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 68. For behold, the wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certainly, feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols.
Right, so it's starting with ice, but guess what? It's really talking about the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, there will be a time of Jacob's trouble, and that has to happen before the second coming. Okay, and the time of Jacob's trouble is these nations coming down, martial law, rounding people up, bodies in the street that's not going to be buried. It's going to be a horrible time, man. Okay? It's going to be mass judgments out here, which is already going up with the racial tension.
Alligator Alcatraz.
Right, put you in camps. You try to escape the camp, there's gators in the water. This is modern day Egypt. What happened in ancient Egypt? They took the babies, they dumped them into the Nile. Don't you know that Nile was filled with crocodiles? You mean to tell me they wasn't feasting? They fed the Hebrew babies to the crocodiles, man.
Even back when time of the slavery age. Remember they take the babies and take the babies from the parents and go catch boiled alligators.
Gator bait.
That's where you get chocolate trot from.
Yep.
Chocolate trot. Chocolate drop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I used to hear that before I heard that. I said, damn, you know what I'm saying? I know it's some real, you know, disrespectful term behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all rooted in racism, man.
Yeah.
America's culture is racist. The ice cream song jingle.
Yeah.
It goes back to it's rooted in racism.
And I think it was another candy I think called mint something rooted in racism. It comes from something from back in slavery time. I said, wow. Verse 68, behold, a burning wrath is a great book. The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you to feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols.
So that's the devil casting some of you into prison. All right, that links up with Revelation, which the Lord told us. He said, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. What's fucking alligator Alcatraz? That's a prison. You know, that's also rumors that they're building incinerators down there. Shit's about to go down, man. That's not the only one in America. They're all over America. Okay, you have something called, I think it's the 10 FEMA regions, you know?
Yeah, even Brother Kazak some years ago, he said he had a dream. And then he was in one of those FEMA camps, and he was seeing vision of Jake getting tortured, like babies and getting tortured and shit. You know, real bad in them. He seen, like he said, he seen an Edomite with a white, you know, lab coat on, blood on his hands and shit, looking like they got the next victim. Like he gonna, you know, go and cut open and search, you know, torture.
Because he's a mad scientist. He does experiments. He does gene splicing, right? Because that's what genetically modified food is. That's what GMOs are. You know, that's the mind of a mad scientist. So when you get our people in these camps, he gonna experiment on them.
Oh.
I try to splice you with a giraffe, but you never know what the devil got, man.
That's Dr. Frankenstein.
They got newly created creatures. You might feed your ass with some crazy shit.
Yep.
You know?
Might try to turn you into some crazy shit. You know, I'm gonna see if this works.
It's gonna get real nightmarish out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is already a nightmare for us. But hey, we understand that the nightmare is almost over, right? But for you people, it's gonna become a very horrible time. You're going to wish you sought the Lord.
Yep. Verse 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision.
So if you consent unto them, meaning what? Meaning you take their implant, all right? You worship the beast and take this mark. That's consenting unto them. That's going to get you destroyed, right?
They consent unto them shall be had in derision and a reproach. And trodden under the foot.
Meaning what? Meaning they're gonna be mocked. All right, they're gonna be talking shit about you. They're gonna be like, see, I knew you. I knew we could get you.
Get you. Yep.
You know, you gotta imagine what they're gonna be saying, man. I knew I could break you.
Yep.
You know,
he's saying that now, Trump.
When his pride, Esau is prideful, man.
Because if y'all voted them in, all them Latins, you know what I'm saying? Some Jake.
Right. Latins for Trump, niggas for Trump.
And look what happened.
But look what Trump is gonna do to the nation, man.
That's considered them trotting on the foot by deporting.
Yep.
That's right there.
So all of our people that voted for Trump, you're now ashamed. Hell, even MAGA.
Yep.
You know, you're now ashamed, man. Because now you people, you won't be able to afford your health care, man. You know, you go into it, man.
That's goes right into that right there. That's already happening. Getting trotted on the foot, I'm getting made fun. You know what I'm saying? You seen the video? I think it's AI though. You got some two Edomites, couple. They had the alligator on Alcatraz. Got the mega red hats on. And they got a Puerto Rican, so-called Northern Kingdom in there. And they making fun of him like he's a zoo animal.
Oh wow.
They take a picture going like, yeah, you see this? It's real hot in here. You can't breathe. Like they mocking me. I was like, wow, this is an AI. But
so it says, I just looked up some information. It says under the one big beautiful bill, also tied to Project 2025, because that's all it is. That's Project 2025 in disguise, right?
Yeah.
Healthcare is about to undergo a major shakeup, and many could lose coverage or face drastically reduced access. Key healthcare impacts: Medicaid cuts and new requirements. The bill includes deep cuts to Medicaid, with estimates that 8 to 12 million people could lose coverage. It introduces work requirements, higher fees, and more red tape, disqualifying many, especially low-income parents and caregivers. Who's low income? The Israelites. That's not Esau. Don't get me wrong, you have a lot of our people that are doing good in this society, but for most part, we understand and we know that when they say low income, that's talking about the tribes. That's talking about the so-called black man, black woman, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman. So who is this going to affect the most? And then it's going to affect our people.
Right now he's trying to stop. I just seen before I came to camp that he's trying to stop school education to further black people to call so-called education and prosper and trying to stop that, like further that education and shit. So he really hate us.
He hates the tribes.
Yep.
So he got a special hatred for the North, but he hate all the tribes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, it says state level burden. Medicaid funding shifts from a guaranteed match to block grants or fixed funding, forcing states to choose who gets coverage and who doesn't. Many rural hospitals risk closing due to reduced Medicaid reimbursements. Estimates show that 336 rural hospitals are under threat. So people gonna try to go to the hospital, that shit gonna be closed down, and they're gonna start closing down hospitals, which that already started happening earlier last year and this year. Which you really don't want to be in Esau's hospital any fucking way. It's not but a goddamn, demon-filled, infested,
Get tortured. Really.
Right, you go in there to get put to death. Yeah. But let's say you do really need to have surgery, you get shot or some shit, and you need to go to the hospital and it's not there no more because they didn't shut it down. But that's what's coming,
I got something to do. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As are for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain help, and our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Now that's our people. Read that again, man.
Yep.
All right, because that's the spirit of our people. They go down to Egypt for help. They march. They do all this. They pretty much, you niggas are in the spirit of begging. But who you should be begging is the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But you're begging the devil who hates you, all right, who doesn't want to help you. When he does help you, it doesn't benefit you. It only benefits the rich, super rich. He's telling you he's going to help you, but really it only benefits him or the super rich.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain hope, and our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Esau can't save you, man. It says that in Deuteronomy, and no man shall buy you. All right? Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help. No one's going to save you. It says, experts warn that this may raise costs, reduce access to preferred doctors, and harm seniors. So what about the elderly? They're already making it to where the retirement keeps going up each year. Mm-hmm. So you old as hell in America. That's fucking, imagine that. That's fucking hell. Getting old here.
This goes back into the Hagilian dialect. Pressure from above, pressure from below.
It says cuts for immigrants and gender-affirming care. The bill removes Medicaid support for legal immigrants, refugees, and gender-affirming health care. These groups will face significant loss of care access. Affordable Health Care Act and marketplace impacts. Premium subsidy, which I used to work in the healthcare field, those how you say it, the deductibles and shit, that shit ain't no joke. A lot of people can't afford that shit, man. They showed you in that movie with Denzel and his son need a heart surgery.
I think.
John Q. He worked all those years and you know, he didn't have, and they couldn't even help the man's son get his heart surgery. But that's what people are experiencing. It's going to affect everyone. So it's going to be mass. But remember that health worker that got gunned down last year? That was what's going to come now. It's going to be more of that because these fucking health, everything in America is a scam, right? Your car insurance is a scam. You pay car insurance year after year, month after month. That shit never goes toward helping you get a new car. You know, and you don't never stop paying. You don't just pay it for 3 years and you're good. You gotta continue to pay it as long as you have that car. So it's a scam. Health insurance is a scam. In other countries you go, the health insurance is free. They actually care about their citizens. Not here.
That's what Gaddafi was telling, telling them before they assassinated, telling so-called blacks and African Americans to come there, free health care. He's gonna give you money, get married, get a family, give you money, get your own land. Get this and get that. It goes back to Deuteronomy 28. No man shall buy you save you.
Yep.
Lord, put a stop to that because we ain't gonna take the glory of Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Yep.
We ain't gonna get no heaven over here.
It says premium subsidies for Affordable Care Act enrollees are expected to expire, adding to coverage losses. Combined, about 17 million people could become uninsured. You know. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer labeled the one big beautiful bill the We're All Going to Die Act. Right? Mm-hmm. So when he read this bill, that's what he said, damn, we're all going to die. But that's an omen because there's mass death coming, man. All right? Going back to the Georgia Guidestones, which they blew up during 2020, they blew that up, right? It says keep population under 500 million. There's probably about almost 8 billion people on the planet right now. So that's a lot of death that has to happen.
That goes into their eugenics. What's the chick that came with that? What's her name? Margaret Sanger. Yeah.
Well, who's she targeting? Israelites. Right. That's why there's Planned Parenthood in all of our communities. Mm-hmm. Right?
So go ahead. Because even when you watch the Men of Steel movie, in Krypton, they had that control. You couldn't have free, just having, out of control sex. They had to control it. So, it had to go through the government, which was a scientist government, to, for them to have babies. And they genetically enhanced warriors, scientists, certain type of people. To, they had the, control of how they going to be, how they going to turn out to be. So they're going to, provide for society, how they're going to be in society. That's how Esau Edom trying to do. They want that type of utopia or something like that.
Utopia.
Yeah.
He wants to play God.
Right.
He wants to have to where you could have a son or a daughter. He actually thinks he's God. He has a God complex.
Yeah.
It says one, massive health coverage losses. Schumer highlighted that the Congressional Budget Office projects 16 million Babylonians would lose health insurance under the bill's Medicaid cuts and affordable health care rollback. 2, food insecurity and medical debt. Coupled with Medicaid changes, 11 million could lose SNAP benefits. The countless families could face overwhelming medical debt or hospital closures. So medical debt that's all America's about. It's about keeping you in debt, that's why they told you graduate high school, go to college. You go to college, you come out, you get in debt. Yeah. Well, let's say you don't go to college, you get a woman, you have a family, y'all are happy for a couple of years, she cheats on you, you leave her. Guess what's gonna happen? She's gonna take you to court, you're gonna have to pay alimony and child support. That's debt. America's all about making you a debt slave. That's what it's about. You'll never be free here. That's why it says in Baruch, you are yet this day in your captivity subject unto payments. Meaning what? Meaning if you don't pay this, you're liable to be in prison. 3, we're all going to die, quote. Schumer pointed to a comment from Sin Johnny Ernst, who said, well, we're all going to die, when asked if she was worried about people losing health care. All right, because what about people with the C word? Those people, they need chemo, they need medical treatment. She was worried about people losing health care. Schumer used this quote to underscore how the bills accept and hope for the best attitude could cause lies. 4. Cuts by 1,000 paper cuts. He described the legislation as death by 1,000 paper cuts, meaning that while there's no single catastrophic policy, combined incremental cuts across healthcare, nutrition, society, social safety nets, and disaster aid effectively dismantle vital support systems, leading to real human suffering. That's what's coming, man. Right? Got some?
Yeah. Hold on. Keep it going.
So going back to Isaiah 19, because the one big beautiful bill that should prove to you who the cruel Lord is. That's Trump. You know? This is Isaiah 19 and verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. The modern day Egyptians is the Americans. All right? So that's speaking about a civil war. And one of the things that's going to lead up to the civil war is this big beautiful bill. That's going to make people, that's going to cause sedition among men. Watch. It says, and they shall fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's going to cause massive division throughout the states, which they already are. Red state, blue state, you know.
Yeah, I got pretty sure what you was talking about, how they, they're going to try to kill Jake, take away their health plan and stuff. Go to the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
Every time Esau speaks, it's a fucking lie. You can't believe him. All right, it tells you in John that the thief coming out but for to steal, kill, and destroy. All right, and all the treaties he made with the Native Americans, they're broken. Right? He broken all the covenants, man. He's a liar. He's a devil, which is why we call him the devil, the deceiver. You know? Is that it? Yeah. All right. It's Isaiah 19 and 3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So the Most High, they're going to seek. That's why it says in Isaiah, stand now with thy enchantments. Okay, because you won't be able to remedy this destruction. Okay, from your seances, your sacrifices, your worshiping Satan. Whatever you do, it's not going to stop Yahweh Shem Yahushua from judging this place. You will not stop it. You will not stop the waking of the elect. Okay? It says, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You're not going to deceive the elect with your project group here. Okay? You're not going to deceive the elect with the MOTB. Right? It says, Isaiah 19 and 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua of hosts. So that's Donald Trump. That's the cruel Lord. And the one big beautiful bill proves he's a cruel Lord. He's getting ready to take your SNAP benefits, your Medicaid, your housing. So what people are going to do? Well, it says now the bitch is going to fail. You know? That's them.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 21, verse 9. We start at 8. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 21, verse 8. Again, the word of the Lord that came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy, say, thus saith the Lord, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished, and is sharpened to make a sore slaughter.
So
it is
Esau.
furbished.
Meaning what? Meaning the Most High is making Esau get his plan ready, right? Get his NWO ready, and it's going to be a great slaughtering out here, man. All right? And part of that slaughter is going to be with the pen. They're going to pass laws and legislations on the book so that you people can just drop like flies.
It's going to be mass blood going to be spilled on this soil. I mean, mad blood spilled. You're going to see dead bodies all over this fucking street, all throughout the United States.
Yep.
Right? You're going to see little ones, big ones, small ones, granny, granddads, papas, mamas, uncles, nephews and nieces, friends, girlfriend, wives. Everybody going to be out here dead on the concrete with blood spilled, man. And a lot of these birds gonna eat lovingly. They're gonna have a big feast in the Babylon the Great. Jake don't get they act together, man. And y'all love this place, man. I hate this place, man.
They love it. Our people love to have it so. You know, they love to have Esau over them. They love to live in together. They love to you know, smoke weed and drink and party all fucking day and night.
Yeah.
They love it here, man.
Like I be sending like Instagrams and stuff that's going on in the world. A lot of people don't respond. But when I post up folly, people respond to the folly. Like, how can you ignore this? Don't you know this man about to war against you? And Jake just went around here worrying about trying to have fun and get drunk and get the bag. You know what I'm saying? Our people's fucked up in the head, man. They backwards. Until the Lord put that foot in your ass, and then everybody gonna turn back around. They're gonna want to learn about the Bible. They're gonna be like, oh, what's that said that we eat Israelites? It's too late, nigga. You know? You should have got this while the doors of mercy was open. Now it's closing. Y'all gonna be just like them same spirits back when Noah came on the earth. When Noah was telling his people it was gonna rain and flood. And when he got that ark ready and got everything, you know what I'm saying? And then when the Lord had sealed that door and that raindrop, that first raindrop, now they gonna knock on the door and shit. Come on, let us in, Noah. Let us in, Noah. That goes back to what? I never knew you. What's the scripture when he said, you know what I'm saying? Gonna be calling the name. I was like, I never knew you. You know what I'm saying? That's with the 10 virgins. 5 was wise, you know, the other 5 was foolish. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Very good. It says under Project 2025 and the Big Beautiful Bill proposals, millions could lose or see major cuts to SNAP food benefits. Okay? It says, and women, especially single mothers and low-income caregivers, will likely be hit the hardest. All right? SNAP benefits, what's changing? Project 2025 proposed massive cuts to federal safety nets, including SNAP, Medicaid, and WIC, stricter work requirements for SNAP recipients, even those caring for children or elders, a centralized welfare review to weed out what it calls dependency culture, which who made dependency? Esau made he made you dependency culture. He made it to where if you kick your man out the house, we'll give you Section 8, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. We'll put you over him. All right, so Esau has made this dependency culture. Now he's taking it from you. Right? You got something?
Go ahead, finish on.
Yeah, Isaiah 32. Yep. Start at 9. Because it says, because the vintage is failing, it's drying up. Was that in April over 400,000 black women lost their jobs? Okay? Every day people are losing more and more jobs to AI. Right? I saw an article about the Amazon warehouses. They're now saying that pretty soon there's going to be more robots than people in these warehouses. Some of these warehouses, they got like 4,000 workers or more. You know? But that's the future that we're in. Got it?
Isaiah 32, verse 9. The book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
Right, our women are at ease because, hey, they can have, you know, they have access. This is a queendom. This is their world. You know? They have all these fucking sex toys and shit. They have all these different men in their phone. So there's nothing but pleasure and you know, benefits to these women here. So they're at ease. They're not thinking about the kingdom of heaven. They're not thinking about the Lord destroying this place.
And this is the kingdom of heaven to them.
You know?
You know what I'm saying? Raise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters.
So they'll become careless. Okay? Through all the benefits, the goodies, feminism that Esau is giving you, all right, you have become careless. Really, he rocks you to sleep. You know, because he used you to get to the men, to destroy and hurt the men. But now that he doesn't need you no more, he's going to throw you to the wolves. You know?
Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech.
Keep going.
Many days and years shall ye be trodden, and ye careless women, for the vintage.
Read that again. It says trouble.
All right. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women.
Many days and years shall you be troubled. Okay, it means you're going to go through a period of suffering. Okay, which you've never seen before. It's going to get terrible out there. Man. It's going to get to the point where women are going to consider and actually eat their children because of how terrible the famine is going to be. All right, we just I'm gonna go back to this article. It says Project 2025 proposes potential privatization of welfare services or shifting control to states with reduced funding. So, and you know they say the majority of welfare recipients are Edomites, right? But they're not gonna allow you Israelites to get that no more, man. They're gonna allow Esau to get it, you know.
With the complimentary thing of the Michael D, the Michael G, HIP.
Result: millions could lose access to food assistance. States could limit eligibility or reduce benefits. Urban and rural impoverished communities will feel the brunt, particularly children and elderly women. It says impact on women, especially mothers. Most SNAP recipients are women, right? Because if you're a man, most likely you busting your ass working all week. They're not going to give you food stamps. You know, if you do what you might get 30. That ain't shit. You know, there's people out here, man. They begin like $500 to $800 food stamps, man. All right, it's bitches out here. They got Section 8. Their rent be like $100-$200. They still behind on rent and their light bill. These people they're degenerates. You know. So they deserve what's coming, man. A little more. It says women often earn lower wages, work part-time, or act as unpaid caregivers, making them vulnerable under tightened work rules. Cuts will strain households, increase hunger, and worsen child poverty.
All right. Verse 10, in many days and years shall be trouble, your careless women, for the vintage shall fail.
Right, the vintage is failing. All right, it's drying up. Everything that, all the goodies of these societies that you have been given, they're now being taken back. You're now being cut off. All right, and that's the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. He put this cruel Lord in office to oppress you people for your wickedness, for your pride. You know?
They said they're going to cut from work week hours to 32 hours.
Yep.
That's like one day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Damn. Yo, you saw, man. Wow. You feel me? That's crazy. That's really some real slave shit. You know? I want you to stay in the house.
Well, really, you're not surviving without working about 40 hours a week. Try missing a day of work.
You know? Yeah.
You need at least 40 hours a week. So they want to take a day of work from you. You know?
Many days and years shall be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gatherer shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, girt sackcloth upon your loins. Continue.
Oh, that was it. This is 2nd Esdras 15.
You want to make a 4-day weekend. You work. Damn.
But it sounds good, but really it ain't.
It's late. Because
You know?
what goes with that, the cost still going to be up. Everything going to still be high.
It said that the price of gas is going to go up, the price of food is going to go up, the cost of health insurance, rent, you know. So while everything's going up, your minimum wage, that shit don't ever go up. Your wages are not going up. Your cost of living is going up. The amount of money you can actually keep and retain, that does not go up.
Yep.
You know.
Damn, so it's gonna be hard. Like my man said on Hustling Folk, it's gonna be hard out here for them. They got to pay money for the rent. You ain't no lie. It's gonna be that for real.
This is 2nd Esdras 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. So we're just telling you what's going to happen before it happens. We let you know that Babylon's going to be destroyed. It's already invaded. What's that in Jeremiah 51? I will fill thee with caterpillars.
Yeah, I was about to go there too.
It's already invaded. You know, so you got the sleeper cells out here. They're just waiting for a chance.
So that's Jeremiah 51.
Yep.
Uh,
I believe it's 14.
14. Yep. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 14. The Lord of hosts sworn by himself. He said, word to me. You know what I'm saying? You know how Jake be saying that? Word to me.
Word by.
Come on. Yep. The Lord of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, with caterpillars.
So let's talk about the modern day Egypt, Babylon the Great. I will surely fill thee with men as with caterpillars. What do caterpillars do? They devour. In other words, locusts.
Locusts.
You know, 'cause if you have a locust hit your land, they're gonna devour the crops.
Right.
You know.
When you go into the NIV, that goes under troops.
Yep. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Continue.
Yep. Read it again.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 14. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee.
Pause the Most High.
Shalom.
Verse 14. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself. Wait, 15. He hath made the earth. No, you don't need that.
Jeremiah 51 and 14 NIV. The Lord Almighty has sworn by himself, I will surely fill you with troops as with a swarm of locusts, and they will shout and triumph over you, meaning the Lord's going to allow them to get a great victory. The Lord's going to allow them to overcome. It said, the mighty men of Babylon have born to fight. You know, these nations over there, they actually had rough lives. See, when you live, see, there's a saying, hard times make strong men, right? I'm gonna get it. So I won't mess the quote up.
Hard time make strong men, good times make weak men.
Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. So that's the time we're in, Esau, the basis of men. We're the time of Esau, weak man, creating hard times. He's taking peace from the earth. He's fucking putting chemtrails in the air. He's destroying the earth.
He's breaking your body down, your spirit down systematically.
And also, with all type of frequencies. There's an invisible war that you don't even know that you're being attacked, man. You know?
Hey, Killer Army got an album called Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars.
Quiet, silent war. Say that again, man.
There's a Killer Army from Wu-Tang affiliated group got an album called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. You know what I'm saying? Man? So Esau been raging that war. You know what I'm saying? The silent war. We didn't even know. We sitting there, like you said, having a good time, life, luxury, and flesh life, not knowing that, it's killing the soul.
2 Edges 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is not this is not our own, something we wrote up. Now this is inspired by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's why we're out here. We're out here to show our faith and to bid our people to the marriage. Now we understand it's not for everybody. It's only for the elect. But the Most High we out here to show our faith, first and foremost, man. Show our faith, prophesying to the wind, prophesying to these nations. We're multitasking, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So that's why you have the Bible. That's why you have the Book of Esdras, right? The Most High, all right, and inspire these men through encounters with angels, or visions or dreams, and he told them the things that they saw and heard to write it in the book, which is why we have these books. All right, so you can say man wrote them, but what kind of men? These were holy men that were inspired by the Holy Spirit. This is not just an average book you can go buy from Barnes and Noble. This is the most sold book on the world for a reason. All right.
Man, back what you said, like a lot of people ain't gonna believe, they ain't gonna get it. I appreciate it. The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe?
Right, they might drive past. Some people might, beat the horn. They might say, Shalom or what's up. So we have some people come out. They know the name. They say the name. You know, some people might drive by scoffing, and they come up scoffing. That's AIDS. So what? You know.
For what if some did not believe? Shall the unbelief make the faith of Yahweh without effect? Power forbid. Yea, let Yahweh be true, and but every man a liar,
Right,
as it is written.
Right, let the Most High be true and every man a liar. All right, so we don't care if you don't believe, man. You know, we know that this is real. We know that it's happening. We see it. You know, you can't see it because the Most High blinded you, man. You know, get that in Romans. The election have obtained it.
Romans
11.
Rest is blind.
Start at 1.
The book of book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, I have Yahweh cast away his people. Yahweh forbid.
Right, it might seem like that, like damn, the Most High, he just done away with his people. But really, when you go to Baruch, the Most High has put his people in punishment because they worship idols and devils. The Most High ain't forsake us. We're not forsaken. Okay?
I say then, have Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid.
Meaning what? Meaning hell no, in other words. No.
For I also am an Israelite from the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
This is Paul. He said, I'm also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham from the tribe of Benjamin. Okay?
Yahweh have not cast away his people.
We not cast away. The part of us being not cast away, or the proof of that, is us being out here right now. All right, with the signs, forming camps, teaching, putting up videos constantly. We're not cast away. Okay?
Which for Yahweh have not cast away his people. Which,
but if you, from the outside looking in, it looks pretty bad. You know, because they just released Diddy. You know what the niggas were doing? They were outside the courtroom celebrating, putting baby oil on themselves, man.
That goes back to what? Yahushai.
Barabbas.
Barnabas, you know what I'm saying?
Give us Barabbas.
Yeah.
You know?
Barabbas.
Yep. You know, that's the spirit of these people. They give us Barabbas. You know, they didn't want to. They say we have no king but Caesar. So on the outside looking in, it looked like, see, we look through. You know, a lot of our men are homosexuals, down low. The women are lesbians. The women of our nation are against our men, right? They help Esau throw us. Hell, you have women of our nation. They slaughter mass children through the Planned Parenthood. They put our men in prison. You know, but the Lord has a remnant that's hidden. And even though that remnant is going to catch hell, that remnant is going to be delivered at the end of the day. You know. Got it.
Yahweh have not cast away his people, which he have foreknew. What ye not what the scripture said, or Elias have he maketh intercession to Yahweh against Israel, saying, the Lord, they have killed thy prophets, dig down thy altar. I am left only, and they seek my life.
Right, so the prophet Elijah, he thought he was going to be the last, you know, he thought he was the last one. You know? He thought it was just him. You know?
But what he saith, the answer of Yahweh unto him, I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
So that's a complete number of men who's not going to bow down to Esau and the society and the system, even to the point of death. You know, you have a set amount of men that's going to choose to rather die than be a part of this evil ass world, man. Because it says in Revelation that they love not their lives unto death. We don't love our lives here, man.
What are we talking on 7?
Keep going.
Keep going. Verse 5. Even so, then at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace.
See, there's a remnant according to the election of grace. Grace meaning favor. Okay, the remnant is just a small number. 144,000, 1/3. All right, you have men, women, children, friends of the prophet. You have helpers. All right, you have people that send in donations, or they may come out to the camp and bring donations. The Lord's going to have mercy on them too. Right, it goes back to Acts 16. When the jailer asked him, he said, what must I do to be saved? He said, just believe, and thou and thy household shall be saved. Roughly paraphrasing, you know.
Verse 6. And if by grace, then it is grace. There is no more works. Do it again. The book of Romans chapter 11, verse 6. And if by grace, then it is no more works. Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then it is no more grace. Otherwise, works is no more works. Verse 7. What then?
When you go to address 9, it says that by faith and by works, because we out here doing the works, but part of us doing the works, this shows our faith, you know, because we believe in this, so we're speaking.
Plus that goes fear.
And also fear.
Fear, because you know what? That's what on Noah, he moved by fear. When we told him about, yo, I'm a flood. I need you to get this gopher wood, get all the animals, this, that. He moved with fear. Because he believed on the word. He said, I heard your writings and I was afraid. You know what I'm saying? He heard the voice.
And just from you going out on a daily, you understand why the Lord has to burn this place, man. Yep. All right, these people are they're fucking they have demons on them, heavy demons. They're rude, they have no home training, they don't fear the Most High, they're proud as hell. Okay? We're in the days of Noah all over again, man. Yep. These people, they act like nothing's coming. They actually believe it's going to continue forever and never. You know?
You ever seen that Batman movie? The first one was Batman Born Again. The first one that came out some years back in 2005, like 04, 05, when Ra's al Ghul, the League of Assassins, when he became Bruce Wayne was coming to trying to learn the arts and stuff like that to be Batman. This is what they call Batman Begins. You know what I'm saying? And he went there, and once he became Batman, whatever, Raj and Groot had these assassins to come to burn Gotham up because it was wicked. You know what I'm saying? With all types of crime and injustice. He was coming to, burn the city up. The Bat was trying to stop it. He said, nah, they wicked, man. They gotta die here, man. You know, we gotta do the justice. You know? That's the spirit, though. That's what you just ran back what you just said about the Lord saying, yo, we gotta burn this place because this is wicked. So Raj al Ghul played the villain, but he was in the spirit.
He was actually the good guy.
Yup.
But that's how a lot of these movies are. You know, the villain is actually the good guy. You know, like Killmonger. You know, he wanted to get away with Esau. So that's Obadiah 1 and 18. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yep. Verse 7. What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh.
Was what? The meaning of life. The true connection with the Heavenly Father. You know, why are we here? These are questions that, you know, I once asked myself before I came, you know, I knew about this truth. Why am I here? You know, why does God let these things happen? But then you learn scriptures, man, that the Most High creates peace and also evil. So the Most High is in control of everything. The Most High put Esau, you know, in office. You know, if Donald Trump allowed him to pass these bills to put hell on you people.
Yeah, that's balance.
The Most High, he's still in control. And through hell being put on these people, the Most High is still going to perform miracles and make sure his elect is good. So people are going to marvel at like, damn, how are you surviving? You know, you ever watch these videos when people are talking about the economy and how much groceries and rent costs? But even though we're catching hell too, the Lord still always makes a way for us, man. You know, I think it was a couple of months ago, they was going to cut my lights off, but at the last minute, the Lord made a way for me to escape it. You know, it says the righteous shall scarcely be saved. You know,
just like yesterday, my tire. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was through. Yeah, you know, you came in the clutch. You know what I'm saying? I called you, kept calling. You know, I ain't think I was gonna get my tire fixed that day. You know? And then, you know, luckily I got my shit, you know, tire busted around where tire shops was at. Day before the holiday, you know what I'm saying? I was able to get my shit fixed and, you know, had to put some work in, roll that bitch over there, to roll it back to get it, you know. Yeah, boom, there we go.
But the last time that happened to me, it was a Sunday. This Jake's shop, his name is Money. He's a Benjamite, so-called Jamaican. He never works on his Sunday, right? But I had my car broke down on the street his shop is on. Then I pulled over there. I hit you up. And I walked to AutoZone to get the, you know, get the piece to take the tire off. Then he's in AutoZone, man. He said he's working today. He came over there and hooked me up.
See?
You know what I'm saying? I ain't have the jack. All I had was the spare. You know? Mm-hmm. That's the how about Shimmy shot, man.
Coming in the clutch. Right? Verse 7. What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh.
Yeah, a lot of our people, they're not going to attain it, man. They're into Islam, they're into Catholicism.
Only into the universe.
Yeah, ancestors. That's a new thing.
Yep.
That new shit, ancestors, man. Worship the ancestors.
What's that new shit I be hearing this first lady say that? Oh, good morning, rising.
Grand rising.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Grand rising niggas.
I'm like, oh, here we go.
You know, grand rising. You know, the white man's book.
Yeah.
Back to Egypt. You know, they ain't attain what they seeking for. They don't know what the hell you talking about, man. You talking about worshiping the ancestors. You know, Most High say you should have no gods before me. So that we cut that right there.
But the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blind.
But the elect will obtain it. That's why it says in Matthew, wide, can you get that 7:4? It says, wide is the gate that lead unto destruction, but narrow is that lead into life. And few that be that find it. The few that find it, it's the elect, man. Because the broad gate is this life we live. You know?
You said Matthew 7:4?
14.
7:14. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 14. Because straight is the gate.
Start at 13.
Verse 13, the book of Matthew, chapter 7. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Now, when it says enter ye in at the straight gate, it means that this walk is going to be a position of difficulty. It's going to be difficult. You know, it's not going to be easy.
The wide goes into, you can't go another direction to get to the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You can't go here. I can't go this direction. I can't go, like you said, you can't go no other way. You know what
But
I'm
you
saying?
told Edris.
Yep. There's only one can enter at a time. Alright. Verse 13, enter ye in the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Meaning it's easy for you to be destroyed out here, man. Hey, shalom, man. It's easy for you to fall into destruction. You know? Because it's broad gate. Very easy. You know, you could get, hey, we're in the valley of the shadow of death, man. Mm-hmm. You know?
And many there be which go in therein.
Meaning there's going to be a lot of people that's going to die. Okay? And the Lord told that to Edris too. He said, they shall not all be saved. All right? The Most High have made this world for many, but I may have made the world to come for few. We see what this world is for P. Diddy's, man. The ones of our people that are wicked, that are sell their soul, lesbians, these are the people that actually prosper in this world. These are the ungodly that prosper in the world. But if you're seeking Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you'll have a difficult life, man. You'll catch hell. That's not to say that the Lord can't bless you or give you nice things. Like don't be simple, you know. But you ain't gonna have it like these wicked ass people out here. And the reason why they got what they have is because they worship Satan, or they sold their soul, or they did some type of sacrifice. You know, I was at work the job the other day. The shit said it was a certain wood, but with this wood, witches use it as a money spell. Mm. So you got all type of, you have people that have money, but how did they get that money? You know? Witchcraft, man. They sold their soul.
Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth into life, and few there be that find it.
Few there be that find it. Only the elect will find it, man. You know? What was that?
You got second
Oh, yeah.
2:11 too.
Oh yeah.
Strong delusion.
This is back in 2nd Esdras 15, in verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Incredulity is unbelief, you know. So we're keep fucking with the lie. Lord willing is good. I'll read that again. 2nd Esdras 15, in verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So we don't allow the unbelief of you people to trouble us. But the Most High ate the water. The Most High gave us the spirit to believe. That's a gift. It's called a gift of faith. You know?
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 10. And with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might believe, they might be saved. Verse
Right.
11.
So if you don't want to receive this truth, the Most High gonna allow you to believe the lie. It's one or the other. You know.
Verse 11. For this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie.
Right. So if you're voting, you got strong delusion. Okay. If you believe that we're gonna be here another 30,000, you got strong delusions. You sold out. If you believe that there's no Jacob's trouble, you are under a strong delusion, man. If you believe that the mark of the beast is an embargo or sleeping with white women, that's a strong delusion. You know?
Or you don't believe that Yahweh Shai, so-called black man, that's a strong delusion.
Right. It's 2025, man. With all the information that's out, if you believe that the Lord is not, he's Middle Eastern or his color don't matter, that's a strong delusion. You know?
And for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie.
So you're gonna believe a lie. The main lie you're gonna believe is when Esau introduce you to your haragma. Or you're gonna believe it's okay for you to take it, because they're gonna use scripture to
Get you.
what it says in Romans, obey the powers that be.
That's what those fake pastors and these false ass prophets, Israelites, gonna use that scripture. You know what I'm saying? You gotta obey you gotta obey the powers that be. That's what the scripture says. Go get that shit. You gotta feed your family. It's the law. You're gonna be killed for it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go out there listen to the pastors. And as far as Israelite teachers, they're gonna go out there and get jammed up.
But during the 2020, you had General Yohana. He said, I know the white man's the devil, but take the jump shot.
That's it.
Yeah, Esau fucking with the lie. It's all good.
Verse 12, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness.
That's what the Lord said. Those who believe on me are not condemned, but those who believe not are condemned already. So you already fucked.
So when they come, like I said, they said that many, scripture said many pass by, but they are foolish pass by, but they are
simple pass on
and perish.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Proverbs, I believe Proverbs 22, I believe 3. It says the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Where you gonna hide yourself at? The strong tower. You
It
know?
goes back into what the songs, but Asaph said
Stupid ass people, man.
the prosperity of the wicked. You said Proverbs 7?
22 and 3.
22 and 3. The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself.
Right, to be prudent means to have foresight. You know? If you have foresight, it means you can see what's coming. So we can see how hell is getting ready to hit the streets. You know?
But the simple pass on and are punished.
But the simple what? Believe every word. So they're gonna believe every word of the devil. They're gonna pass on. They're gonna take the chip. They're gonna end up getting punished. You know. Back in 2 Ezra 15, in verse 5, verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right? 5, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So that's what's coming, man. Sword, famine, death, and destruction. And I believe, I'm not sure if it was yesterday, but there was a flood that hit Texas, man. You know? says July 4th, 2025, Texas flooding leaves at least 24 dead, 20 missing campers unaccounted for. So there was flooding down there in Texas yesterday, man. You know, there was a recent shooting in Chicago. All right, I think about 18 or 20 people died. So their last judgment is going out. You know, it says, verse 6, for wickedness had exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Yeah, OnlyFans, all these women are prostitutes. All right, fucking OnlyFans, you know, sodomites. You know, I saw this one news clip with this man. He went jogging to the park, and the fucking park ranger, the cop, he tried to arrest the dude. He said, if you don't, you know, let me, you know, rape you, then I'm gonna lock you up. That's the world we live in, man. A very sick, evil ass world. You know, and it's the whole, and it's the ways from America that has polluted other parts of the world. Because now, because of America, they have, you know, gave women rights. Other nations are starting to do it too.
Yeah, I just seen yesterday, what's those Israeli soldiers called? His name is yeah, Amalek. So his name is
I forgot.
I remember. But anyway, I just seen yesterday. They showed a group of soldiers raping a Palestinian dude in an abandoned building. It was like blocking. They had him in the corner, raping him. I'm like, yo, maybe people of the Lord. That shit was sick, man. So I just posted up in
the IDF.
IDF, yeah.
Israeli Defense Forces.
Yeah, they was raping one of the Palestinian soldiers, dudes, man. After they, you know, they circled around them so they couldn't see it, and then they was having them all tied up and blindfolded, you know, hitting them from the backside. I was like, wow. So they tore his insides up or some shit. Yo, these some high level demons, man.
That's the wickedness of Esau.
Yo,
you know, hey, Shalom, yo,
that's crazy.
That's what they're doing over there, man. They're torturing those people.
They sickos, man. I see why the Lord wanted to burn that bitch up, man. Wow.
They're high level demons.
Yeah. Yo, I'm way convinced they the devil. That's here on earth, physical. If anybody say something different, man, something ain't right.
Well, they did that to Jacob slavery, man. They call it buck breaking.
Yeah.
You know?
They the devil.
This is 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 7. Therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, meaning the Most High is tired of this shit. That's why it says in Revelation that the sins of the Most High have reached unto heaven. You know? It says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither I will suffer in them those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. You know what's the cold part about that is? Esau is the Most High's sword, man. Mm-hmm. It's the Most High's using Esau to do that.
Willing.
You know? That's why David say, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Just think about that.
You know? It says, verse 9, 2nd Esdras 15 and 9, and therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Verse 10, behold, my people is led as a flock for the slaughter. That's what they're going to do to, that's what they're going to do you people in the camps too. You know, Esau's getting ready, man. They're getting ready to torture. You know, they're going to steal, kill, and just like the Bible, they're getting ready to show their horns. That's what it means when it says the devil is coming down with a great wrath. That's why we out here. If we fear the Lord, we won't be delivered from that.
That's why, like I said, we out here to warn our people. Like we just read the scripture. People passing by, you know what I'm saying, not caring. Think everything America got this, we're gonna bounce back. It's not gonna get back. See how people just driving past in their nice little cars and prospering, and you know what I'm saying. And when you go back to what Psalm 73:3, what Asaph said, I seen he said, I almost slip, I almost like, damn, I want to, make it to it, get that bad. But he said, yo, man, I had to repent. He saw the prosperity of the wicked. When he said he came to a small sanctuary, he understood their end. I see how they're gonna suffer. We get on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and we see how like DDG, all our people that's getting that back, they're traveling, they're living good, they're living nice. When you go into the scripts, they're gonna die a horrible death. When the Lord take away that comfort zone, take away all the millions y'all don't generate that the so-called white man gave you, and he's gonna take his snacks back, his presents back, and put you back down to square zero, then you know what I'm saying, you're gonna suffer a lot more because you're gonna sell your soul to get that thing and still gonna suffer more. You ain't gonna get back to what you had, man. It's over. All your nice little women gonna be gone. They're gonna be spoils for the UN troops, rape and scrape, your sons and kids, your family gonna be taken from you.
That's why it says, woe to you that receive your consolation. So if you ever receive, goodies in this world by selling your soul, all right, and not fearing Yahweh Shem Yahushai, when that's taken away from these people, they're gonna lose it. See, us right now, we're catching hell now, okay, but when this shit collapses, hey, the Most High is gonna make it to where many miracles are done for his hopeful elect. Shit that you can't even believe, man. You might see a man, running with a bear. Some shit you never see a brother flying.
Yep.
The
book of Psalms, chapter 73, start at verse 1. Truly Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such as are clean of heart. That means pure heart. It means we got this understanding, you know what I'm saying? We worship him and sincerely, not grudgingly, you know what I'm saying? But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. Yeah, because, everybody had that thought of like trying to make it in this world, trying to do things that everybody else doing. You know what I'm saying? Right? So Prophet Asaph said, he seen this time, you know what I'm saying? He seen everybody prospering, getting to whatever. He said, damn, I want to be like that too. They having a good time. Verse 3, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked.
Right, you can get like that sometimes, because you see these people, man, they don't fear the Lord, but everything seems to go good for them. No. But it just looked like that now. Really, shit is going bad for them. They're losing, and now we're beginning to see how they're losing, man. Look at Alizar, prime example. He had all the wives, music videos, Hebrew and Hellcats, but now look, it's been exposed that he likes to get pegged and shit, man.
Prosperity of the wicked, verse 4. For they are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men.
They're not in trouble as other men, man. Meaning what? They don't experience so-called racial profiling. They don't experience driving while black, right? They're not catching hell like us, man. They don't experience, credit checks, things of that nature. They got it good here,
And they are plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain, of violence covereth them as a garment. They wear it like they wear that wicked venom suit of violence, man, of evil and wickedness, man. Just like that's why that Spider-Man concept of Spider-Man with the venom suit. You know what I'm saying? They could, control our people. That's talking about Esau, really, but that's also talking about our people as well. You know what I'm saying? They put on the spirit of Esau to flourish in this society. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got Jake women wearing blonde weaves, bleaching their skin, blue eyes, fake breasts.
Because they envy the oppressor.
Yep.
They say Esau doing good. They want to live like him.
And then the violence.
Live in the suburbs.
Yeah, and the violence. They kill you over money. That's Esau type of spirit, man. That's their spirit.
The money has a fucking spell on it.
Yeah.
If you actually look at a dollar bill, that shit got so many spells and rituals on it. That's why as soon as you get it, it's gone. It goes right back to Esau. That's his shit. That's why the Lord said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than a heart can wish. That means they greedy.
And they're still not satisfied with that. They're not satisfied with that. What has satisfied them? The control over all people. Total control. How do they want to achieve that? To the mark of the beast. You know, really, it's about the birthright. They want to get rid of us, thinking that that's going to get them the birthright, going to get them the kingdom of heaven. You won't ever get the kingdom of heaven. You accept to be a vessel unto dishonor.
Yep.
And everything you do is dishonorable, man.
Yep.
Tel Aviv, Pink City. You're supposed to be the people of God, but you have the largest homo parade in the world, right? It's being made known who the fucking devil is, man.
They are corrupt, speaking wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully.
Yeah, they speak lawfully. Get over it.
Yep.
That was hundreds of years ago. All right?
They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth.
Well, they say, y'all, you wasn't a slave. You know, you wasn't a slaver. You know?
Or they say, Noah Yahari said, God is fake news. You know what I'm saying? We can make the Lord mad. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna conquer the heavens. We're gonna put our space stations out there. We're gonna go to space. That's talking off against the Most High. Man. They're talking against the Lord. That goes into what? Speak against the Most High. You know what I'm saying? That means he think he gonna conquer his people, conquer the universe. That's why that Star Trek, Star Wars, what's the other space movies they got? Battlestar Galactica, traveling in space, conquering the outer world. You know, they got that type of mentality to do that. And on top of that, at the end, they're gonna war against the Most High in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. You know what I'm saying? So this dude speaking corrupt, speaking foul. And they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walking through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and the waters are full of cup and run out of them. And they said, how doth Yahweh know? This is the knowledge of the Most High. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. These increases in riches. Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my hands in innocence. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. We get up and go to work every morning. Build, like you said earlier, bills. You know what I'm saying? Car breaks down. Some days you might not have food in the crib. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if you might lose your job.
Yeah, we're not having the same experience in America as a Puff Daddy or Oprah Winfrey. These are people of our nation that are doing good for themselves. Yeah.
Verse 15. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I shall offend against the generation of thy children.
Right, because you know how Puff Daddy's with them. If that was just a regular Jake, they would have put his ass under the prison.
No.
How do Jakes get higher penalties for drugs, man? And this man got a whole fucking sex parties, people dying, countless bodies. It's a satanic world.
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Verse 17, until I went into the sanctuary of Yahweh and understood their end.
The Most High gave him because that was troubling his mind. Because they do trouble your mind when we hear it. But that's why the Lord is telling us, like, look, you got something better coming. First shall be last, the last shall be first. Like this is not our rest, This is from the Quam 777 Shalom. Micah 6:12, it says, for the rich men thereof are full of violence. That's Esau. Esau is the rich man that's full of violence, man. The Most High blessed this man with the sword. What do you do with a sword? You kill, steal, destroy, bring destruction, take peace from the earth, destroy the animals. That's why the Lord ain't let you touch everything, man, because you will fucking destroy it.
The Lord's put him in the snare though. Verse 18 gonna give it to you. The book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse 18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places, that casteth them down into destruction. So that meaning that corrupting all they enterprise that they trying to set up is for their own destruction. Even the nuclear weapons that they created, thought they gonna use that to take over the world, but then stupid, greed don't misled them. They greed, selling weapons to your enemies. Now they master it. Now they're gonna use it against you.
We are own allies.
Yep.
Your own allies are gonna turn against you, man.
So if you make that Karagma mandatory, that's that slippery place.
That's the end game. That's the checkmate.
Yep.
Back in Micah 6:12, for the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. That's the fire precept. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Yep.
bad precept.
Yep.
That perfectly sums up Esau. He's full of violence. He speaks lies.
Mhm.
His laws, legislations, executive orders. And it says their tongue is deceitful in his mouth, meaning you can never trust it. And the Lord told us, never trust our enemy. That's why we ain't get the Maxine. Because we know not to fucking trust you. Now look, all those people that got that, they're dropping like flies. They're having issues with their heart. They're having, coagulated blood. Huge ass blood. The coroners are finding huge blood clots in the ones of these people who took it's calling it the clot shot, man. People are dropping like flies.
That's a real Jamaican saying. You blood clots. Blood clots. You're a real blood clot now.
2nd Edges 15 and verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Right? You trust in America, you led as a flock to the slaughter, man. Because here Esau hates you. If you don't understand or see that by now, you're finished. Okay? You're finished and you're gonna end up being destroyed. He's the enemy. All right, salvation is not for everybody. It's only for the Israelites, starting with the elect. Right? We got yesterday. You just had Independence Day. Well, we have our Independence Day coming. Okay, and it's gonna be grand with fireworks too.
Barbecue all at the same time.
It says, "I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt." So now, when the time of the Lord's getting ready to come back to get us, right? Can you get Matthew 24 and start at 23? We never finished that. We'll probably get a couple more precepts. Past 1:30.
24 and what, 23?
Yep.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lord, there is a Mashiach Yahushua over there, believe it not.
Start up. Start at
22.
22.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 22. Except that those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
Right, and then the days are being shortened. I believe, let me get some information on that, This is from Forbes.com. It says, Earth could be about to record its fastest ever rotation since 2020. Get ready for the shortest day since records began as Earth spins faster. Read that again. The Mosai said, lest those days be shortened. The Mosai shortening the days for the elect's sake, man.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 22. Except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But
so if the Mosai don't shorten the days, will nobody make it? Because it's double. He'll destroy every fucking thing.
Because he's speeding up, so that's why he said Revelation 12 and 12 said he have a short, he have a short time. His time is speeding up. So the Lord is forcing his hand to move quick. That's why Donald Trump got Operation Warp Speed in place to move the prophecies. You know what I'm saying? Everything correlated, connected with that. You know what I'm saying?
Precept. This is 2nd Edges 2 and 13. Go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you. So that's what we're supposed to be, man. Please. We're praying for a few days. Pray for a few days unto you that ye may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. So we just waiting to get into the kingdom. It's already prepared, man.
We're already there. The script is already written. We just got to catch up and play our part.
The Lord said the kingdom of heaven is within us, man.
That's why we said rehearse the righteous acts. Rehearsing means we rehearsing for the movie, for the actual. So when the actual movie starts, and then we, go play our part, and boom, in the kingdom. And at the end of the movie, we made it. The good guys, we beat the enemy, the antagonists of the movie. Just like the actual movie, we rehearse for the actual movie, play it out. You know what I'm saying? And then once you already the superhero, you already won, got the woman, saved the woman, and you already living a good life. You just got to catch up to that part that you're playing. You know what I'm saying?
You just got to play out.
Right?
So we just letting it play out. It says, go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you that you may be short, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
For shall be, except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved.
So hey, call all y'all about some other shots. We're showing them days. That's less time we gotta be here.
Yep.
So may it go faster, man.
For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, or there believe it not.
Which that's what Project Bluebeam, faking the second coming. You know,
Or going down to that shipping spot to where we can heal the blind. That goes into that too, because they can make you walk again. Just like I went to bring out 4 extra glue of his hand. He might be one of them dudes who might take that chip to get a robotic hand and get the chip and get his, you know what I'm saying? You never know. That might the Lord set him up for that. You know? Yeah. So that goes into a false Christ, a false so-called,
Messiah. False miracles.
False miracles. Yep. Verse 23, that if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, or there believe it not, for there shall arise false Mashiach and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders.
So how? With what? The technology. Science, implants,
And so much that if it was possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Which is not. They're not going to deceive the elect, man. Because the elect are in tune with the spirit and watching, and the most important, they're watching, they're aware, and they're studying. So we understand how the Lord's going to return. He told us how He's going to return. He said, "Every eye shall see. Behold, I come with clouds, and every eye shall see."
So that's why I said knowledge and wisdom is a good stability of the course of our time. So we got to understand. We got the Bible, we got the foresight over how things going to lay out.
Right, because we understand who the enemy is, so we know not to trust him.
Yep.
We understand what the mark of the beast is, so we know not to take it. Right? We understand that we have to endure unto the end and keep watching, so we know we got to keep coming out here teaching and preaching, signing and crying, praying, fasting.
2/3 of our people don't understand this, so they don't. Some of them may know what it is, but they ain't gonna have the faith to not take it because they don't understand. Revelation 14 and 19 is gonna be activated. Take that, then boom, Luke's coming. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people gonna say, well,
that's a good point, because they don't understand that this place is gonna be destroyed.
Right,
so we're in the spirit like this shit gonna be destroyed anyway. Right. So what, you take the chip and for what? For what?
With a short time. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, that goes into people gonna say, well, this is the new way. Now I don't want to take it, but I got to do it to feed my family. It's gonna be the new way. It ain't gonna be so bad to take it. That's how people gonna be in that school.
That's how they're gonna deceive themselves. You know?
That's it. Verse 25, behold, I have told you before, wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not, for behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not.
This is a damn lie.
That
could be a goddamn AI, artificial intelligence created video.
Even that, even better, even worse. Concentration camps, coming here. Come here for salvation, come here because war, civil war gonna be breaking out, all types of violence. Come here, we can put you here, you be safe here. You go there, and when you get in here, you come at that door, get this chip, only where you can get in and get salvation. You know what I'm saying? So they might be in the desert. You know what I'm saying? You might be strangling, people might be strangling, 2/3 be out here trying to wander, trying to find a safe haven. You go there, you walk right into a trap. People gonna be starving for food. We got to go to a Walmart, but not knowing that's a concentration camp. You go there, hey, they're gonna tell you you're gonna take this. You know what I'm saying? Or if you don't, they got soldiers right there, gonna upper hand you right there on the spot and bring you into there. You know what I'm saying? They say, yeah, come down here, we got food and water and beds for y'all. Come down here, people gonna run there and get trapped. You know what I'm saying?
That's why 2 Ezra 16 it says they take you being idle and offer you with things offered unto idols. So
they're gonna offer our people salvation. So that's why he said be in the desert, go to you not. You better not go there, it's a trap. You know what I'm saying? He said, unto you, behold, he is in the desert. Go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers. Believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Which when lightning flashes, you see it. It scares you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You might jump, you know, because you see the lightning, your mind, you're not expecting to hear the thunder. And it says from the east to the west, it's telling you how the Lord's going to come. Because in the midst of World War III, the Lord's going to come down there and destroy those armies in the valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's why he said, I come quickly, and my word is with me. So whoever take that scissor, the word is going to get that destruction, that burning. Revelation 14, 9 and 10 going to be in effect. You know what I'm saying? And then who didn't take it, which is the hopeful elect, word of salvation, and they delivered from the destruction. For whosoever, verse 27, for as lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so also the coming of the Son of Man be. Verse 28, for whoever the carcass is there, will the eagles be gathered together. Verse 29, immediately after those tribulations, those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light.
Right, because why? When the Lord comes in that fathership, it's going to be something the whole earth is going to notice. Because that fathership is going to literally block out the constellations. And also the destruction from the nukes. When that goes up too, it kind of show you that movie, The Matrix, where he said, we don't know who struck first, but this is what happened. You know, when you show Neo the real world, you know.
And the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from the heavens, the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
Which goes into what? The nukes. You know? Keep going.
Verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and they shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of the Man coming in the clouds.
So everybody's going to see him. This is going to be a worldwide event. Everybody's going to see him. All right, and they're gonna be like, what is that? You know, but we the Most High gave us the foresight. We know that's Yahweh and the angels. That's our salvation. We read it earlier. They shall be amazed by the strangeness of thy salvation.
Just like Independence Day, when we seen that big chariot come, it was all like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Clouds and heavens with power and great glory.
Power and great glory, man. Because it says in Isaiah that the slain of the Lord shall be many. You know. So the Lord ain't coming back to, you know, give out hugs and high fives. He's coming back to kill people, you know.
Verse 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of the trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds and from one end of heaven to another.
So meaning wherever the elect is scattered, they're going to be gathered. They're going to be taken up from on that ship. There's going to be enough room on that ship for all the elect, you know. You know, from that ship, it's going to come out other ships that's going to be zapping, destroying shit. You know?
Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and put forth leaves, ye know that the summer is nigh.
Right.
Verse 33. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door.
So we're seeing it. We're seeing the earthquakes. We're seeing the wars, the rumors of wars. We're seeing the elect of our people wake up and start calling upon the name and teach. We're seeing all the signs that point to the end of this kingdom. We're seeing it. Okay? So stay strong. We're close, man. You know, time is, before you know it, it'll be 2026. We're halfway through the year just like that. It's already July. Right? A little more.
Verse 34, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass until all these be fulfilled.
So it's going to happen during this generation. People might think, well, that ain't going to happen in my time. You know, that's going to happen during my kids' life. You know, I'm going to see my kids. No, you're not. You know?
You know what's crazy? They was saying that in my era. But a lot of my people in my generation got kids that got kids that got kids. So this is the generation that's going to happen. Duh. You think this going to go on another 10, 20 years?
It can't.
Come on. That's what you call pressure, man. You know, you applying pressure, too much pressure, something's going to bust eventually. right? If I keep blowing into a balloon and keep blowing it, it's gonna eventually pop.
Get Isaiah 30 and 13. Then we ended off this.
I did.
Yep, 30, verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 13. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly.
It's gonna come suddenly. All right, it's in 1 hour. The whole fucking the whole kingdom of Esau, Basra, is gonna be destroyed by nuclear fire, man. It's gonna become a lake of fire, just like that.
At an instant.
Yep. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followed? Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. All right, so this man's kingdom is ending, but hey, Most High is about to give us the king. Going to Isaiah 14, I will have mercy on Jacob, I will yet choose Israel, set them in their own land. They shall take them captives whose captives they were. You know? So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Pray this has been edifying. Giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakudash, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.
Shalom.